Welcome to tonight's lecture. Tonight I'm going to do a little bit of a departure because I kind of want to talk about some of the things that we're going to be doing on next. I'm going to be bringing up a bunch of stuff for working in the cloud for the next series of lectures. I think as I kind of go through on this process. We'll be taking a look at Alibaba, we'll be taking a look at AWS because both are very similar and both have some really interesting properties. But one of the things I'm noting is that as we kind of go through the process, that not a lot of people have skills in Linux, the skills in scripting, don't know what CI/CD means, don't understand programming, or any of those other things that kind of go along with it. So I'm going to do some back-end filling on this one, and one of these is going to be how to install Linux in a VirtualBox so that you can actually go ahead and kind of do this on your own. So you've got this process here where you've got things that you can just download Oracle VirtualBox and kind of work on from there. But one of the things you can do, right, is just go ahead and do a new operating system, new machine. So we want to do Debian. Debian's okay. It's not that big a deal. It's just a regular old Linux, and you can kind of just work out from there. We'll do another one on CentOS. CentOS is really more common in terms of look and feel, but Debian is also really close. So working with either Debian or CentOS will get you a really good idea on what it looks like. So you would just give your machine a name and then where it's going to go and what type it is and what version it is. Make sure it's compatible with your system. I tend to give my virtual boxes 2 gigs of RAM, and that seems to be enough to help me get through the day. And then I want to create the virtual box now, and 8 gigs is fine. VirtualBox disk image is fine, not going to hurt anything. Dynamically allocated, I would much rather have that just in case I do something. I'm going to automatically add more stuff, and we'll just make it 8 gigs and call it good, because again, I'm not planning on doing very much with this. And then we kind of go from there. So what we can do then, right, is because we have this, right, one of the things that we can do is we can kind of go and check and see what start looks like. So we can actually just go ahead and start this thing and then pick out where we want it to go, right? So it knows that it pulled up from my desktop that optical disk, and then where I downloaded it from Debian. And we can just click on start, and it will do that process for you. They're really teeny tiny screens and everything else, and wow, that's just like ugly. Auto capture keyboard turned on, so that's all good. Click the mouse side, we want to do that. So boom, so we just want to go ahead and install, and then we'll give it kind of a little bit of a running. Virtual sports, there we go. Wow, man, yeah, see, we need to kind of fix that out because that's just kind of ugly for that screen size. So we would want to go back and actually really check on that one, right? And it's not just video memory or everything else. It's where we're at on this one. So continue, United States, American English, that works. And again, as we just kind of go through and we install it and kind of go from there, should work out fairly well on the process. And again, as soon as we get that screen image fixed up, we should be pretty well good to go. I don't know if I can make it bigger that way. Probably not. Nope. But again, so it will just go through and do its install. And again, fairly straightforward, right? Most installs now are just kind of crazy. You don't really have to do much. And the domain name, oh, we're not going to give it a domain name because it doesn't need one. Not going to worry about that one. Network, access for root. So we're just going to make a new root password. And this is something that you never ever really want to share out, right? You're going to come in with an account, user account. We'll just go Dan M for my account. And then select the username. Boom, got that. Good password is going to be so we pick a good password for that and just kind of go from there. And again, I'm not really too worried about this one, but to do Pacific time because that's the one I'm in. So I'm not going to really worry too much about passwords or anything because again, this is just what I'm running local. I'm not going to be doing anything, and we'll just go ahead and use the entire disk. Boom, there's my 8 gigs, everything will be done. 7 gigs, 1 gig, there you go, swap, continue. And again, we're just going to go ahead and do all of the things. And then yes, write those changes to the disk. And then boom, and then it will just go ahead and install that base system for you. And again, the goal here is just to have something that you can work with as you kind of go through the process of learning your Linux commands for the cloud and and learning how to do all that one. And again, Debian is just pretty straightforward. It's definitely not a rocket science kind of thing, and it's really easy to get. It's a nice clean install, kind of smallish. It's under 500 megabits, so it's really easy to download. So you don't have to wait too long to download it or anything. You can also download CentOS if you do that. To use the DVD ISO. That's about 9 gigs, 9.2 gigs. So that's another way of doing things. So between CentOS and Debian, you have a really good feel for what a Linux box in the cloud is going to look like and how it's going to work. So option of scanning additional media, packages. Do you wish to scan for more media? No, I don't want to do that. Goal is to find a mirror, configure, United States. Sure, we'll just do that. No proxy info. So hopefully with any luck here, we've got APT going. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of getting this thing patched and everything else as we go. So we'll be doing a lot of that as it kind of goes through. It's going ahead and going to go set up some download software for me and everything else. So we'll go ahead and we'll definitely get this going. So the good part is that you can either do apt-get or aptitude for this when it gets going. And let's see, configuring popularity. No, I don't want to do that. All right, GNOME. Yeah, I don't really want any of this. Yeah, no, we'll do web and SSH. We'll do those kind of separately because those are going to be kind of fun. We'll do those differently, and then we'll do all that. So again, it's just going to kind of go through its thing there, and I am really kind of amazed at just how teeny tiny this screen is. I'm going to wonder if we can get it bigger on that screen when we go display. Boom. Scale factor. Yeah, let's see if we can get that. We'll go there. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so what I did to fix that was just basically go to settings and fix that. That's just going to make this really nice, big, huge difference. There we go. Much, much easier to read. It has a lot of stuff that it's doing in terms of retrieving and installing stuff. And again, it's just mostly all the patch and updates. So as we kind of cover some of that, this is probably going to be the longest part of the whole thing. So I'll probably, I don't know if I think I can pause this or we can talk about, doing apt-get to go ahead and update the system as you kind of go, as you go through the process. There's real, don't have a real preference for either aptitude or apt-get. It's pretty easy going. So you can just keep on doing all the bits you got. Patch management's actually pretty straightforward. So it's just straightforward on that part. And it's just click update. I mean, that's it. So it'd be apt-get update or apt-get dist upgrade or aptitude update. Either way, pretty straight. It's the thing. And then again, it's just go ahead and keep everything updated, and we'll run that when we get this thing all installed and done up. It's not going to take too long here to do this because really happy about that. So remember when we went to go make the screen bigger, we just did go to the settings here and to the monitor and just made it big so you guys can actually see that a little bit better, which is important. This is what I get for having one of those 5K retina kind of displays here. It can be kind of interesting dealing with it in terms of how that works. So I think right now what it should be doing is just going ahead and finishing the update, and then it should go ahead and install all these packages and go from there. But we'll still want to do our thing and go and do that. So all right, doing all the stuff. Got some Python, some Samba, fonts. For people that don't know, Samba, we'll be working with that if we had a Windows network, but we don't. We will be working a lot with Python as we kind of go through this. We'll also be working a lot with PHP as we kind of go through what I'm planning on doing with cloud computing. So this again will be a really good video to get you started. We'll probably refer back to this a lot, just because you're going to want to have something to practice on that's local, that's not going to incur a cloud computing cost. All right, even though it's not much, it adds up. And if you forget to turn your cloud computing off, you're going to be paying for it, and it's just going to be sitting there idle. So it's usually better to have something local to practice on, and then you can move it over to the cloud later on. This would be one way of making a disk image as well for your cloud process. Install everything here locally, work on it, get it all nicely configured, turn it into a gold disk, and then move it over to the cloud, whether that's Amazon or Microsoft or anywhere else, right? To make that happen. So we'll go ahead and we'll get their process on that. And again, so we'll just let it do its thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this here, I think, and kind of go from there. Huh. There's no real pause, is there? Well, there you go. Back. So we got all the packages updated and everything else. That was pretty well good to go. And wants to know if we're going to install the Grub bootloader. Because I'm in a VirtualBox, it will be the only operating system that this thing will see. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to go ahead and install it, just because it makes life a little bit easier. And we'll do our virtual disk hard disk. We'll make that bootable, and we'll go from there. And then we'll go ahead and do all that and then finish up that installation for me. And we should be pretty well good to go from there. But it's just going to go ahead and detect all the hardware so it knows what it's doing. And then we'll go from there. Then boom, installation is complete. Time to boot into your new system. And then we see the boot start up. And then we go boom. And we want to do that. We're going to make that a little bit bigger for me. And then it goes ahead and just goes and starts up everything. All the little keys. Okay, sure, we'll let it do that. And then boom, we'll go ahead and bring him up. And we should be good to go. All right, so we now have a running Debian kind of thing. So from here, right, we've got all the little bits and pieces that we would have to go with, and you know what we would work with and what we wouldn't work with, and Firefox and files and all the other bits and pieces that you would want to have. So what we want really though is terminal, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll bring that up. And then we want to do pwd because I'm curious as to where I am. So pwd is print working directory. That's a really common command. If you ever get lost, you can type pwd and you'll know. You can also go where am I? It doesn't have that command, but there is a, so there's no where am I, it's pwd. So type in, it will tell you where you're at. And then you can also do ls-la, so listing, see what all you've got, see what they've got cooking in here. But we want to do now apt get update. I want to see if we really, spelling, got all the things. Cannot unlock, so I need to sudo always forget how to do that. Boom. Oh man, bummer. I'm not in here. I'm not in the sudoers file, so I'm host. There you go. So there's going to be some things I need to fix as I get going up here. So yeah, so su does not exist. Yeah, so I don't have that. I'm not in a good bit. I need to put my name into the sudoers file. I'm not going to worry about trying to log back in and everything else, but we did get a bunch of, you know, permission denied and everything else going along the way. So yeah, trust you receive a local lecture, respect, think before you type, great power comes responsibility, and then we're good. So we'll work it, we'll go from there, but that's essentially how to get a working thing. When you're done, just go ahead, you can set all your power log out and other things. Then we can just go ahead and power off if you want to. And then we'll go from there and it'll shut you down. And that's essentially all there is to it. You can just go ahead and then start and stop it from there. And the settings, because remember we're having problems with the display. We definitely want to make that display like huge as much as I can get it. So I think what we're probably going to end up doing is doing the 300% and just kind of go from there. Stick with the system. I'm not going to worry about that. and then we can go from there. But that's it. That's all there is to installing Debian on your computer system. Hopefully you like it. Thank you. Come back for the next lecture. Talk to you later.